Hello, Soto.
Hi, Bex. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just getting a bit hot in here. I'll take my jacket off.
You're going to take your jacket off?
Yeah. Okay.
You got my cap today?
Yep, I've got it. Have you got yours on? Oh, yeah, you have, yeah.
I've got my cap on.
Good.
I'm sporting the Soto cap.
Yes.
However, I'm still awaiting our Swan Soto cap.
Okay.
It's going to be a much better look, I think.
When's that coming?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the Vista print parcel.
Hopefully it's not parcelled somewhere else.
Well,
you know, you heard the stories. Sometimes they put it in the bin.
They might do put it in the bin, or my dog might eat the. My dog might eat the delivery slip. Could be rusting away at the old Daily Mail delivery office.
Yeah, somewhere. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hi and welcome to the Swan and Soto Show, your new week driving test centre gossip podcast. Every week we shall bring you lots of this. We've all had donkey rides.
Yeah, no, but mine was special.
And this. And women on a period. And a little bit of this.
I tell them, keep your eyes open.
Keep your eyes open. Join us every week as we share and delve into the lives of us driving instructors and what really happens at the driving test centre. So, what do you think about the weather then, Soto?
Actually, it's weird. I thought it was going to really snow heavily, but it's not bad.
Been a bit of a mild winter so far,
Yeah,
isn't
it is, yeah.
I've been trying to get to the gym, trying to shed a few pounds from my Christmas Baileys.
Okay, I haven't.
No?
No, I can't be
Ah,
bothered.
well.
No, I'm just...
You're just a man.
I know, lazy.
Did you know that women spend at least 36 years on a diet of their lives?
So silly, isn't it?
I wonder what the statistics of female driving instructors would be.
Probably higher.
Well, of my 15 years as an instructor, at least 15 years I've been on a diet, so it's 100% running right now. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about today? Do you know?
Something about points.
Points on your driving licence, yeah. So basically, a couple of months ago, I had a lovely lady who actually had lost her driving licence, Soto.
Oh, how come?
How did she lose her licence? So
No idea.
No idea. Well, actually, she got 6 points for driving with no car insurance.
Is that in the first 2 years?
Yeah, that was within, I think that was 18 months after she passed the test.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, unfortunately, she took a couple of years out, sorted herself out, and she come back and she got a clean sheet. I do have her interview right now, so we'll just go straight into that and listen to that.
Yeah, go for it.
Hi Emma, you just passed your test, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So we've actually just got a clean sheet. How does that feel?
I feel over the moon, to be honest, that I didn't get any minors, yeah. Really buzzing.
Why do you think you didn't get any minors?
Because my instructor is so good.
Well, you're very, very, very kind. You've been really nervous all week, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
So what have you done to prepare for your driving test?
Well, to be honest, I've been 2.5 years without driving. I used to drive and I was a bit stupid, messed up with money and didn't realise I was driving around without insurance. So I got 6 points on my licence. I'd only been driving a year and a half, so I lost it. I've sort of used 2.5 years to get myself sorted, get my money, finances, everything in place. And now that I've got the money, I've been able to do an intense course, get it done within the week. Just get rid of old habits and thank God pass my test.
With no minors. So if anybody who's just passing their test for the first time, what advice would you give them?
Practice. Don't get yourself stressed out. Make sure that you go over the things that you're not confident with to build that confidence up first.
When you've passed your test, what advice would you give to new drivers because then obviously in the first 2 years you're under the New Drivers Act, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to get 6 points on your driving licence. So what kind of advice would you give to new drivers passing their driving test?
Just be so careful, don't take any risks, making sure that you're not speeding, using your phone, paying your insurance, because if you get them 6 points and you lose your licence, you've got to do it all over again. It's going to cost a lot of money. And, it could affect your personal life as well, not being able to drive with work, things like that. And,
of course, so it obviously affected your life, didn't it? How did it have a negative impact on your life when you lost your licence?
Well, it costs a lot of money to pay off the fines, and for me, I do a lot of travelling with work, so having to walk to work takes me an hour there and back. So that's 2 hours of my day that I'm spending walking. I've not been able to apply for higher positions within the company because I've not had a car, so it can hinder your progression within the workplace as well.
So now that you have passed, what does this mean to your life right now?
It means that I've got to go and pay my brother a bit of money so I can buy his car off him, and I can start applying for higher roles to progress my career now that I can drive.
So now you're going to make sure that you pay your car insurance on time.
Yeah, 100%. I ain't messing that one up again.
Thank you for answering some of our questions, Emma, and congratulations.
All right, thank you.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? She's obviously a very experienced driver, so she smashed her driving test and got a clean sheet.
Good on her.
Do you know what? It's funny, I've had this clean sheet saga for 15 years, and I took 13 years to get one.
Oh dear, did you?
Then I got 3 in the same year.
Uh-huh.
Then I've got 2 since then, so I've got 5 in 2 years, but none in 13. So.
Well, I've got 5 in 5 years actually.
Yeah.
And the first 2 were in the first 3 in the first year. So,
you must be really good.
It was just potluck, I reckon.
But it's quite funny actually, because you sit there and say that, because I think every driving instructor at some point does want, it's quite an achievement, isn't it, getting a clean sheet? It's quite exciting.
It is.
My first clean sheet, I think I got over 200 likes on Facebook. I was so super proud.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, looking back at all the students, all of them were actually experienced drivers. Through one means or another. They weren't kind of what I class normal, genuine learner drivers. They were actually, so for example, my first one, he'd been driving on farms and tractors with his dad, and kind of, he rode motorbikes, he drove forklift trucks and stuff like that, so he had a lot of experience, and he come and smashed it first time. The second pass, he actually drove back home in Poland for years and years and years, come here, got a clean sheet. Good. So all the stories that they're kind of, it kind of just shows you that experience does give you that quality
it's true.
in driving. So if you are listening to this podcast, when the DVSA state that you need 40 so many hours and so many hours private practice, it actually is true. You do need that kind of amount of training to become good.
Yeah, well, the ones that I've had, especially this young lady, she was a horse rider on the roads, and she passed first time clean sheet because she's aware. She's on the road and they're more aware than
you become a lot more observant as well, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm actually scared of horses.
They're alright if you just go around
quite
slowly.
Big and dominant, aren't they?
Yeah, but if you go slow, you're fine, and you wave to the lady as well.
Yeah, I'm alright if I'm in a cab. You never get me on a horse.
Okay.
The only memory I have of that is when I was in a child at my cousin's village in New Elm, and we broke over a sty, and there was a pony. Right. I don't think the pony liked me, and I slid straight off. So I'm not a lover of horses. We're kind of digressing off topic right now, but
I know. Well, let me just put one in as well. I don't ride horses, but I've ridden a donkey.
We've all had donkey rides.
No, but mine was special. Mine was special because we were in Cyprus at the time, and my father had a vineyard.
A what?
A vineyard.
I thought you said a vineyard.
I
don't know what.
No, anyway, it's a vineyard. Okay, and the donkey had giant buckets or like baskets at the sides, so the pickers pouring into the buckets, and then I had to ride the donkey to the van, unload it, and back. And that was bloody excellent. I loved it. I was probably 12 years old then.
Oh, memories.
I know.
You can't beat memories.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
All the driving lesson memories. So, yeah, of course, she lost her licence through, having no insurance. Now, her reason was she was a bit skint. So she thought she would temporarily freeze her driving insurance direct debit. And unfortunately, she did get caught out. Yes. Which makes me kind of come on to the topic that, there's lots of reasons why that, if you get points on your licence. So, for example, if you gain 6 under the new Drivers Act, if you get 6 points within the first 2 years.
Because most people think it's like speeding.
Yeah, they do.
Or red lights.
Yeah.
Are there any other, which I can't seem to remember? Phone, of course.
Yeah, there is a phone. Well, obviously using a mobile phone is 6 points, isn't it? So that's an instant ban and a £200 fine, which was actually one of the new laws last year, wasn't it?
That's right,
so we've actually gone online and printed off all of the codes and offences, and there's actually quite a lot. And to be fair, there's a lot of things here that I didn't even realise, and...
Give us an example.
Okay, so... Failing to comply with traffic light signals.
Okay.
So how many points do you reckon?
I would say 3, obviously.
Yep, 3 for that one.
Cool.
That code is TS10, TS10, Pamela.
All right.
Failing to comply with double white lines.
Double white lines. So what happened? You parked on the white lines? What?
No, it's a double white lines. You know the ones in the middle of the road.
Oh, that one's.
Passing.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of yellow white lines.
Yeah,
white lines. That sounds stupid as well.
You don't really talk about double white lines.
No, we don't.
Often,
No, we don't.
You?
That's true.
You know, you get them. In...
But there is. I think if you know it, you can overtake on a double white line if the vehicle is doing less than 10 miles an hour.
Yes.
But you still got to be cautious.
You've got to be cautious, or if it's broken on your side of the road.
Oh, that's also true. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is one of the reasons why you will fail your driving test if you don't actually stop at a stop sign, because by law, the code is TS30, and that is also warranted with 3 penalty points.
Yeah.
So when you're on your driving test and you're rolling up to the solid white line and you're in first gear and you're rolling up, it's about a metre in front of you, you glance right and then you glance left and you see the road's clear and you're probably doing about 2 to 3 miles an hour right now, and then you lift your clutch
and off you go. And guess what? You failed.
The examiner has just put a little pen mark in the S box attached to response to traffic signs.
Yes.
Now, going dead slow does not mean stop. So, do you know what? I actually kind of dawned on me as well, because a couple of years ago I had a student who was on a driving test and they were like, oh, I've got to stop at the stop junction, I've got to stop at this. They were so focused on stopping at the stop junction. So the stop junction was ahead and they yanked the handbrake on to stop the car. Because he was like, I've got to put the handbrake on. I said, look, okay, the advice is this. You don't have to put the handbrake on. It's not, that's, if you don't put the handbrake on, you're not going to fail your test for not putting the handbrake on. However, good practice would suggest putting the handbrake on would assure you that you have psychologically stopped. Because a lot of people, I mean, I've done mock tests with lads and they've gone, I've stopped. I said, oh, you didn't actually stop.
You're still moving a little bit.
You're still moving a little bit. So the problem with this particular chap, he stopped a metre shy of the white line. So he thought he'd stopped at the stop junction, and when he went to go, he went to pull out the junction and didn't have an extra glance to the right, and the examiner had to dual brake. So when you're approaching a stop junction, you know, even if you're in traffic on the approach, you have to physically stop yourself at the white line. Again, if you are caught, and perhaps somewhere in the UK, they, you know, it's getting a bit like Big Brother, isn't it?
Yeah,
with all the cameras and bus lanes
everywhere.
and cross traffic lights and stuff. So if you are caught, it could be a nice little money earner for the local council. So, you know, make sure that you stop, and we advise you to, you know, use your handbrake sensibly and with recognition. Okay, so a couple of other things. So failing to comply with traffic signs, normal signs, so speed limits and stuff like this. Failing to comply with a school crossing patrol. So if a lollipop lady is walked across the road with a lollipop saying stop. Again, you know, if someone directs you to stop of authority, you've also got to stop. So there's loads of codes here. Aggravated taking a vehicle, 3 to 11 points. You've got in charge of a vehicle when unfit through drugs. That's up to 10 points.
Oh my God.
Using a vehicle uninsured against third-party risks. 6 to 8.
Okay. Using
a vehicle uninsured against third-party risks. That doesn't make sense to me.
Third party means obviously fire and theft, isn't it?
Third party risks. It's other people. I'm going to
well, it probably means that if you've hurt other person, it won't cover them. Or maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that one. That's puzzled me, that one.
Yeah, we might have to do that.
Do you know all the codes? If you listen to this podcast, are you up to speed with all your codes? Maybe we should make a whole podcast challenge on educating the nation.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the...
What's that one there?
Play Street offences, I mean...
Play Street offences.
That actually comes with 2
points. What's Play Street offences? I don't...
They write all this legislation, but they don't put it into kind of normal spiel for regulars like me and you. Not that we're driving instructors, by the way.
No, I know. Yeah.
Okay, Okay, so we've actually just gone online and we've actually just discovered you can't use a car in a play area. So that's what play street offences actually means.
Get it now.
Thank you, editor.
Yep.
We were just kind of digressing there. Now, one of the things that this is actually been a conversation on Facebook.
Okay.
Recently, actually, in one of the forums. So it's the MS90 code, which is failure to give information as to the identity of the driver, which could actually be 6 penalty points on your driving license. So one of the topics that a driving instructor asked was he received a speed ticket through the post, and obviously he looked at his diary and worked out who was the driver and he asked the question, you know, do I legally have to state who was driving my car? Now it brought up quite a lot of controversy online actually, because you know some people saying yes, you should, of course, because you lose your job if you get the points. But also it's actually an offence not to give the names, so that's actually in black and white. So unfortunately, learner drivers, you know, it's coming back to responsibility again. If you do if you are
breaking the speed,
it's nothing to do with you, but you know, I've never personally had this happen.
Me neither.
But the instructor will have to forward on your details. It's actually a criminal offence not to give the identity of the driver. Yeah. But you know, that kind of worries me a little bit, because say you had a pupil and I don't know, end up going for a bus lane or something like that. Okay. And you got the letter through, the ticket. But some people work digitally, don't they? So they delete their diary at the end of the week.
Oh, I see. Right.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
Okay.
So how can you actually prove? And a lot, you know, I mean, I know some schools will sign the lesson off and stuff like that, but can you prove always who's in your car at what time of the day?
No, I can, because it's in my diary. Plus, also there's a recording paper for what day we started and what time we finished.
Right,
so
okay. So that's a really good tip then, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
I have that.
Obviously, you know, things can get, you know, troublesome sometimes, and nobody wants to be in this situation. No. But of course, you know, it is an issue that does arise, so we thought we would address it here. So lots of things to be considering when it comes to points on your driving license. But that's a really weird one.
I know, but I've had also, you know, my pupils asking me, well, what happens if I speed? I said, well, you get the points. But why? Well, you're the driver, so you know. But of course, I won't let you get the speed. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, another story that I've got, I did have a student once who she had to move out of town, and she lived somewhere in the Midlands, and when she come home for the weekend to see her family, and she got caught speeding. So that was 3 points on the way to her family. Yep. And then 2 days later, same camera, unfortunately, caught her again speeding. Now, her scenario is quite different, and sometimes, you know, if you have to go to court, there is a special reasons argument. Now, in this particular person's case, she was actually a witness. Because of her special reasons argument, the judge actually wavered her points down to 3 to enable her to still drive because of the predicament that she was in. Right. So sometimes, you know, points can be wavered, but it's not necessarily, you know, it is a case-by-case basis. But do not rely on that. As I say, you know, the law's there to protect the public and obviously...
Yes. Pupils,
driving instructors and stuff.
I know. Oh. There's one here I'm just reading. Furious driving?
Furious driving.
Okay. What can be a furious driving? What could that mean?
Furious driving?
Yes.
And women on a period?
Man in anger? Okay. All right. So that means driving fast, obviously?
It could be the police on no lunch break trying to get to McDonald's.
Or the examiner was late to go to his test.
Or it could be taking the dog to the vet.
Could be, yeah.
Well, what angers you? Do you ever get angry behind the wheel?
No, cyclists.
What angers you about cyclists?
Oh, cyclists. They always seem to pop out where they shouldn't, and they don't obey the rules, and they do annoy you. But the worst, actually, what I've seen quite often now is people on the phone.
Do you know what? It's actually shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really, really, really shocking. so many people now are recording CCTV in the cars.
Yeah.
You can buy them in Halfords and all sorts.
And you can report them.
And you can just download them on the Facebook page.
Exactly, I know.
I wouldn't dare.
I've done it once.
Yeah.
I've done it, and they called.
Have you?
Yes,
really? What happened?
Well, they contacted the person. There's a video clip of what he's done, and he's gone to awareness course. Right, he got his, I don't know, 3 points, but whatever. You know, they do search it. The police do crack it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so talking about points and fines and stuff like this. Now, recently I had a girl ask me, you know, obviously, you know, one of the classic fails is not stopping at a stop junction, which we just covered.
Yeah.
But she said to me, if I sneeze while I'm on my driving test, will I fail my driving test?
I tell them, keep your eyes open.
Keep your eyes open.
When you sneeze. Go on, there you go.
Yeah, it takes a lot of skill, that, you know. It's not physically possible, is it?
No way. I can't do it. I don't think you can. I don't think dogs can.
Yeah.
Nobody can. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's not a right or wrong answer, though, is it? Because you could technically, it's cause and effect, isn't it? So the cause is the sneeze, the effect is that you lost control and swerved
and hit the tree. But anyway,
or the curb, or the alloys, or anything else that might go on.
Yeah, it's true.
So we posed the question to Facebook and asked some lovely, brilliant driving instructors on there. Have you had any people read some ask funny like myths of driving tests and you know what funny stories have been asked? So Soto, I'm handing it over to you.
Okay, I'm trying to go to the shortest one. First of all, it says here, do you test me? Okay, so that's obviously
no, we don't test you.
We don't test you. Okay, another one here says, yeah, I have had, will the car I take my test in be like this? What?
Do you actually need glasses, Soto?
No, I don't need glasses. It's just the way I read it. Because look, you try and read that one.
Okay. Yeah, I have. Okay. Yeah, I've had. Will the car I take my test in be like this one?
All right. So kind of
in answer to your question, go back to our first podcast show, and that will answer your question.
All right, that's the one way out of it. Okay, another one here. I had a lad a few years ago, really nervous, wasn't sure how he would be on test. Apparently, I wasn't there, but about 25 minutes into the test, he farted. Okay. all the way around, he was convinced he had failed because of it.
Right? What? Because he farted?
Yeah. The examiner had his window down, apparently. A bad one, obviously. He did pass. Quickest I have seen an examiner leave a car. So, if you fart, you don't fail your test. Okay.
You might be a little bit embarrassed, but don't just. Yeah. In my case, stay away from raisins.
All right, another one. One of my pupils actually, this one's mine now. So, can I choose my maneuver and my test route? Okay, of course you can't, because she said the one we did just now was really easy. so she assumes that she can choose.
So she's just done a mock test.
Yes, and she did well, and she thinks that she can use that one for her test. Anyway, okay.
There was a really long one that was quite funny.
Which one's that? Okay,
just before your one.
Can you find it?
Right, we're having a little kind of.
Yeah, the phone is kind of weird.
I have a.
Yeah.
I hope the instructor doesn't mind, but basically it's a cool answer, so we do love you. One of my pupils asked me when we started using the sat-navs for tests, he was driving on the sat-nav for me. Anyway, I told him at the end of the practice that I'd only made one mistake on a roundabout. So he turned to me and said, how will the examiner know on the day of the test if I've made a mistake? Do they download the sat-nav when I get back to the test centre? I said, no, the examiner is in the car with you. He thought the examiners would set the sat-nav up, and this is where we see more, Soto.
Yes.
Right. He said he thought that the examiners would set the sat-nav up and set him out on his own and wait for him to come back.
Oh,
and he was absolutely serious.
No, they come with you, mate. They'll come with you.
Do you know what, though?
Yeah.
When they start doing driverless cars...
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting, isn't it?
No, there's got to be an examiner in it. It can't be out.
But then, do you need a driving license for driverless cars? How is this industry?
Yeah, you have to, because in case that car malfunctions and you take over, the passenger's not going to have a license. It'll be just you need a license.
Yeah, it'll be a road safety kind of certificate, won't it?
Yeah, you're going to have it to be able to be in it.
You might need to even get a walking driving license. The way it's going, you're going to need to have a training course to be a pedestrian on the pavements.
Well, we'll see when that time comes, because I reckon I don't know.
Is there any more funny answers there?
I'm not sure. So that was interesting.
That was very interesting. That's our third podcast.
Oh my God, time is flying, isn't it?
Yeah, are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it. Can't wait for the next one.
What's the next one going to be?
What do you reckon?
Well, we're starting our Beatles About, aren't we?
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
How excited are you about that?
I am actually excited. There was going to be one for Christmas, but unfortunately, the examiner is ill, so I couldn't have him. I was going to play a trick on him, but we're gonna do it for sure. Yes.
So me and Soto, we're going to be a few cheeky driving instructors, and we're going to we're not going to let too much out of the bag, are we? Because we want to kind of see how it goes. But we're going to put some really funny things into these podcasts to give you some humour along the way, between pupils, and at least you've got something to listen to when you do get a cancellation, or you're on test at the test centre,
and you're bored now,
and stuff like that. So next podcast we are going to be talking about doing a HPI check on new cars.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've got a really kind of an interesting story about a pupil's experience of buying their first car. All will be revealed. So later. We would really love you to support us by following us on social media.
Please, yes.
You love social media, don't you?
I love it. I love to put anything on there and everything.
You just did your video, didn't you? That was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, I will do more.
You're going to do more videos for 2019?
Yeah, why not?
Become an instant internet star.
So, yeah.
Maybe not.
We'll see. Yeah, I just go for it.
You're just going to go for that.
Yeah.
Please support us on our future podcast. We really kind of put a lot of effort into these shows, and we're hoping that you're going to learn a little bit of something. We might irritate you at some point, or you may just fall in love with us. But we want your stars on our podcast shows, so get over to iTunes and Google Play and Spotify, where you can follow us and obviously connect with us. So if you have any kind of interesting topics, we are going to be setting up an email so that you can email us any suggestions that you would like us to cover or do an interview. We do have some really interesting conversations coming up. I'm trying to get an interview with an examiner.
I hope you make it.
I'm waiting, and I think I will, but it's about driving test myths.
Ah, yes, that's interesting. Yeah, I spoke to one examiner yesterday, actually.
Yeah?
He's leaving now, Banbury.
I think I know, yeah.
Yeah, and he's been complaining about lots of pupils who think they can drive. And sometimes he's back within 10 minutes as well. So, yeah, a lot of stories he's come out with, but I won't say anything on
But it. No, driving test myths is it's a classic. Will you fail your driving test for crossing your arms?
Yeah.
We'll cover that on next podcast show.
Actually, yesterday, one of my pupils, we were doing a mock test. So she was driving along, one hand on the gear stick, one hand on the steering wheel, and she gave way, or somebody gave way to her, and she lifted up her right hand and saying thank you. And I said, put that hand back on straight away. You would have failed your test. So funny, yeah.
Yeah, so the hand signal is a stop sign. Even though you're saying thank you, it's all nice to be courteous, but show the pearly whites instead of the hand.
Yes.
The big old hand saying stop. No, thank you. Not on your driving test anyway.
No.
So usually the examiner actually kind of does that stuff for him.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Not that we're going to be rude when we're out on a driving test. So it's this a funny grey area on that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's what do you do, what do you not do.
Yeah.
Technically, it's stop sign. You're telling them to stop.
Or sometimes when they flash at you.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, Soto.
All right, mate. Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Me too. See you when?
Next week.
All right. Have a good one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.